TIFU by realizing the older woman I've been sleeping with for months is my coworker's mom. So this literally just happened about an hour ago. I'm a 25-year-old guy who's been involved with an older woman, 44, for a few months. It all started during the early days of the pandemic when I was on Tinder looking for someone to connect with while staying safe at home. I came across this incredibly attractive woman and decided to swipe right. A few days later, I got a notification that we matched. Excited, I opened the app and there she was. We started chatting and things were going great until she sent me a message asking, "Do we just meet to have sex or do we go on a date first?" I couldn't help but laugh and I replied that people usually just meet up for fun. She said she hated formalities and I was thrilled. She sent me her address and told me to bring wine. The week leading up to our meeting was a blur of nerves. When Friday came, I showed up with wine and she looked even better in person. We talked about music and travel, keeping it light on personal details. A few glasses of wine later, we were all over each other, and I left feeling like I was on top of the world. The next day, she texted me saying she had a great time and wanted to meet again the following week. This went on for about 3 months, and we'd get together once or twice a week, enjoying each other's company without any complications. Yesterday, I messaged her to see if she wanted to meet up since I had the day off. She told me her son was taking her out to lunch, but invited me over at 3 p.m. She had mentioned her son before, but I didn't think much of it. When I arrived, she texted that she was running late, so I parked and waited in my car. Suddenly, a familiar SUV pulled into the driveway. My coworker jumped out, kissed her on the cheek, and then got back in the car. My heart dropped. I realized I had been telling him all about my escapades with this woman, and now I was sitting in front of his mother. He pulled up next to me, looking confused, and asked what I was doing. I panicked and stumbled over my words, pretending I was lost. He seemed skeptical but let it go. Meanwhile, she was watching us from the window. Once he left, I went inside and told her what happened. We sat in silence, and I felt sick. I couldn't believe I had been so careless. I called in sick for work the next day because I couldn't face him. Then she texted me, suggesting we tell him the truth. I was horrified. How could I explain that I had shared explicit details with her son? She insisted it was the right thing to do, even after I told her how uncomfortable it would be. The next day, she went ahead and told him. He called me, sounding confused but not angry, saying he knew we had no idea. He asked if I had been talking about his mom the whole time, and I had to admit it. He seemed bummed and said he was going to look for a new job because it would be too weird working together. I felt terrible. I planned to tell her we couldn't continue this anymore. She had caused him to lose a job and a friend over something that could have been avoided. So, that's where I am now. I never expected this to blow up like it did, but here we are. I guess I learned my lesson the hard way. Thanks for listening.